the first race that we've competed in is 8 seasons ago till now. It's because we're a good race team. I think your dog was taking a nap there. Eyes were shut.
Other questions? Kenny Bruce has one.
See that? Oh, it's funny.
Kenny Bruce, SceneDaily.com. How difficult was, or how important was track position out there? And I mean, you guys kind of,
Okay.
you were, I think maybe early in the race you guys had a little bit slower pit stop than you had wanted. I mean, when you got out there, could you work through traffic, or did you have to be out front?
It was weird. Early in the race, I felt like we could maneuver through traffic pretty well. As the race progressed, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was the rubber that was laying down on the racetrack or what the situation was, we just couldn't seem to make it happen. And track position is king here. It always has been. Anytime you go to any of these 1.5 mile, 2 mile racetracks, it's very, very important to have good track position. Typically, we have a car that's capable of making its way back up through there. Today, we weren't able to pull that off. I messed up when I did that two-tire call midway through the race, and I shouldn't have done that. Should have just stuck with 4 tires, and I think we would have rallied our way up through there pretty quickly. Instead, on 2 tires, we were kind of stuck. The car got real tight on 2 tires. So, lesson learned right there, especially for the fall. But it's the way it is.
I think one other, Chad told me that that last run we were 9/10 of a second faster than we were the run before on stickers, and it was all because of track position. It makes that big of a difference.
Let's go over to the media center. Any questions in the media center?
Yes, we do.
Go ahead.
Bruce Martin with SI.com. While everybody's talking about the good fortune you had today, apparently we seem to forget the bad luck you had last week. And how important was it for you to bounce back from that as quick as you did today?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say it was really on my mind. I don't know about you, Chad, but I guess I was thinking big picture in the points and knew that in 35th it wasn't a good position to be in. But the races are so different that I couldn't put a lot of weight in what failed in the performance of the race, the performance and how we ran it in Daytona, because it's so different here. It was more of a small aspect of, I hate being in a hole this early points-wise, but we'll just roll on. So it wasn't as much of a mind game as you would think. Now, if we finish 35th here today, that'd be a different story.
We have a follow-up.
Yeah, it's me again. Also, talk a little bit about the symmetry of getting your first victory here and your 48th victory here with car number 48.
It's so weird how things work out. Look at the first win and then this win. We come back here with the foundation paint scheme on the car and have won a bunch. There's just something with this track and being in California for me. I wish I could explain it, but it's nice to come out here. I always love racing in my home state, and being this close to San Diego area where I grew up is really cool. And then to keep taking trophies out of here, there's nothing better.
We have another question.
Go ahead.
K Presto Cars and Competition.com. Jimmie, would you please replay how that caution broke in your favor? You came out okay and the other car did not.
So we were in our pit box doing the pit stop, and the caution came out, and we completed our pit stop and then left pit road. And where we were positioned on pit road, we had to beat the leader to the scoring line at the end of pit lane. And we got there just about the same time and beat him by a car length or a half a car length or something. So I think the 18 was in the pits, and the leader of the race passed him, a few seconds before the 18 was able to get that line. And that's why we were able to be on the lead lap still, and then everybody pitted, and we were the leader.
Thank you.
We have another question.
Go ahead.
This is Joe Manzer from NASCAR.com. This is for Chad. Chad, everybody talks all the time about how this place is tough on engines. When you saw Gordon have his problems, were you concerned at all it might be a Hendrick issue? And why is this place so tough on engines?
Yeah, we were pretty nervous, actually, because Jimmie had made a couple of comments that he felt like the engine was just a little bit down on power. And then when the 14 had their engine and the 24 had a miss, and then it cleared up, and then it came back, and I guess they ended the race with a miss. We were pretty concerned. But this track is so difficult because it's not really the amount of RPM you turn. It's the the amount of RPM you turn for the duration that you turn it. You're on throttle for so long here, especially once you start to move up the racetrack. Your minimum RPM drops considerably, and you carry a good sustained RPM all the way down the straightaways. Obviously, with the fluctuation in ambient temperature, track temperature, and air quality today, that played a contributing factor in that. So this racetrack's really, really tough on engines. Plus, you have to realize it's 500 miles. So it's a grueling place. Now, I honestly don't know what happened to the 24 and the 14 yet. I'll have to wait until talk to Jeff Andrews and Scott Maxim and find out what happened there. And the dog's definitely sleeping now.
We have another question.
For Jimmie, this is Tim Sullivan, San Diego Union Tribune. Just wondered, are there a lot of friends of yours or fans who make this particular trip to Fontana, and don't follow you the rest of the year as much just because of proximity? And do you sense a different crowd here, a different level of support?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Some of my friends I grew up with come out to the race, and it's tough to get passes for everyone. I can't get everyone passes and see them all, but I know they're all here. Get text messages from them. And then some different friends that live in LA that have access to passes and things like that come in and hang out. And I think our pit area is pretty full of friends. And I know they're all waiting at the motorhome with a cold beer for me right now. So look forward to getting over there and celebrating a little bit with them.
No more questions from the media center.
All right, let's go to the terrace press box. Questions?
Nothing from Diesel?
How about the Skybox press box?
Oh, he's not?
The media skybox has no questions. Thank you.
You're welcome. We'll come back to the media center. Kenny's got one. Go ahead. We got a couple in the back row. Let's get the back row there first. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Tara Gibson, Crown City News. Jimmie, what do you do to usually prepare for these races? I mean, what's your race strategy? What do you usually do?
Strategy-wise, Chad and the engineers do a lot to understand trends and cautions, and the way races play out. And then again, it's just statistics that are showing that, not really. It's difficult to really base a lot on it. So I leave a lot of that to them. I just really focus on doing my job, make sure that I'm well rested, well hydrated, energy's up, in shape, and do a very good job of explaining what I feel in the car. Without having data acquisitions on the car, I'm responsible for telling them what's going on, good and bad. And I just really have to work on my communication skills and then being sensitive enough to understand what the car's doing.
Go ahead.